Dirty Sports, episode 911. We are live on YouTube in 5, 4, 3. Welcome to the Dirty Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Andy Ruther, coming to you live from Cincinnati, Ohio, with my co-host from Los Angeles, California, Joey Nocho Prano.
Hello, Andy.
Happy Friday evening.
Andy Ruther did episode 911. Is that what we're calling this?
I know, man. It's crazy, right?
You usually do episode first, so maybe episode 911. Andy Ruther did this.
I didn't. It didn't hit me until I was putting the episode number pre-show, and I was like, "Oh, it's episode 911. Here come the Andy Ruther 911 jokes."
Yeah. Do you want to announce that you did 911? Do you want to
No,
announce that you did anything?
no, I did not do. Definitely did not do 911. Although we might be officially banned from YouTube for making that joke.
Do you want to? Are you responsible for any atrocities this week?
Possibly. That's why our show is.
Why was our show delayed, Andy? We're delayed to Friday. A lot of rumors. I'm probably responsible for all of them that you have decided to basically skip episodes because NFL's over, and I don't know. I'm assuming you're holding out. I thought you might just be holding out until the combine. I thought you were like, next show, combine, and then you found out it's Miller Lite Thursday, and you were like, oh, do we miss Miller Lite Thursday? I guess it's got to be Miller Lite Friday.
Yeah, well,
I have not looked at the rundown. I have a feeling there's still some NFL stories on there.
There's lots of NFL.
Yeah, not shocked.
Yeah, that's how we got to do it. There's lots of NFL. No, the reason that we are delayed a day, I'm officially a father.
What?
Yeah.
Wow, the ticker. Andy Ruther is a dad. How many people outside of your family and myself and Randy Ruther knew this was coming? Is there any dirtballs in the know?
No.
Wow.
Kept it tight.
You are the father of a baby girl.
Little girl. Little beautiful little girl named Isla. Not Isla, for my people who don't know how things are pronounced.
Isla Ruther.
Little Isla Ruther. Isla. So my baby girl was born on 8:26 p.m.
I saw a picture of your baby girl and your girlfriend for the first time simultaneously. They had their coming out party together.
Yeah. Yeah, so I was keeping it close, and she was born Wednesday night, 8:26. It was kind of a grueling week. She had to be induced early because she had high blood pressure because of the pregnancy. So I knew going in it was going to be a battle, but it was a lot longer than we anticipated, and she had to get a C-section after 2 days of the induction, and yeah, I became a dad a couple days ago, and it's crazy. I'm on not much sleep, so and I might as well just get this out of the way because in the era of transparency, she is currently
in the era of transparency. 10 months of you hanging on to the fact that you're gonna have a baby. We've now decided to become transparent. Okay, Andy, what's
touche. Well, look, here's the thing. I learned a lot. Like when I went through a lot the last few years losing my parents, I think certain things changed about me. And this one, I kind of kept close to the chest. And doesn't mean I won't talk about it because I will now. But I just held that close to my chest. And obviously, you knew, some people knew, some friends knew that she's obviously been pregnant for 9 months. So I held that one close to the chest, but I just want to be honest. Like right now, I could use some positive vibes from everybody. She is currently in the NICU, so she is having trouble keeping her body temperature. So this is tough. I'm not going to lie. We had to go home today without our baby. So
Isla too chill.
She's too chill. I needed that. Thanks, man.
Maybe I need to make a visit, and we can, stabilize each other's body temperature. No chill, too chill. Isla, too chill. Ruther.
I love it. Yeah, no, she needs that. So it's been a little back and forth. This will be her third night in the NICU. And for those who don't know, that's the neonatal intensive care unit for babies. So she's having a little rough go because she was early. So positive vibes. I think she'll be all right. She's just got to get caught up with where she's at right now as far as compared to other babies. I'm learning so much, guys. It's a lot. It's a lot of emotions, especially for Brittany, my girlfriend, and it's not easy for a mother to go home without her baby. So a lot of things happening here, and that's why we were delayed. I know no one saw this coming. I saw some things, NFL
with your girlfriend being named Brittany. Was there ever a thought of Jackson Ruther, so they could be Brittany and Jackson Ruther, like Mahomes, like the Mahomes?
I never thought about that.
Missed opportunity, honestly.
Yeah. Good thing we steered away from that.
I have a feeling that she's going to. I have a feeling her first words are going to be, "No one believed in me, but I did it anyway. Everybody said I wasn't getting out of the NICU. Here I am."
Oh man, I needed that. Yeah.
Doctors everywhere talking about my temperature. Talk about me now, jabronis.
I can only hope that Isla's doing that one day.
Yeah.
That'd be great. Yeah. She's got a little spunk personality to her. So I think she'll be all right. She's got to iron out a few things, and we take it day by day. And you just trust the doctors. And I'm already seeing a lot of positive vibes from dirtballs who either their children were in the NICU or they themselves are in the NICU. And look, at the end of the day, it sucks to not be there, but you can't spend your whole entire life just worrying. That's the one thing I've learned in the last few years. Like, it doesn't mean you're not concerned, but you got to go through. And look, guys, I think we got a pretty good track record. I told Joe we'll get the show done. We'll get the show done.
I mean, tell it to Travis Kelce. He does seem like he goes through his life worried about what reporters are saying.
What is going on with them, man?
Andy, I mean, first of all, you're I've taken clips of you. You've been busy with baby stuff, and I've posted clips of you, and then I've also filled in the blanks a lot because TikTok has me raging lately.
I love it.
But I put up your clip about the underdog Chiefs, and honestly, I really did think, Andy, that it was an in the moment thing. I thought, you won the Super Bowl. Andy, we did it back to back. Basically back-to-back games where they obviously they were the betting favorite in the Bengals game, but they felt like people were disrespecting them, and they did it, and they were underdogs in the Eagles game. But I thought it was an in-moment thing. I thought it was after the game. The emotions are running high. I have been proven wrong on that. Literally, our TikTok comments are full of Chiefs fans being like, "No one believed in us. Everybody had us 5th in the AFC West," and I would be like, "There's only 4 teams in the AFC West." And they'd be like, "Yeah," and some people had a 6th. And I pushed people on that because I said, "Who? ESPN." I looked it up, guys. ESPN had you 4th in the preseason power rankings, 1st in the AFC West. Well, CBS. No, I checked. 3rd in the preseason power rankings, 1st in the AFC West. Well, here's a compilation of people. And then I looked at the compilation, and it was Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless, which, as we know, are sports trolls that don't even believe what they're actually saying, ever.
Yeah. Well, it's been, like, you and I have texted about it a lot, too, besides discussing it on previous episodes. I've never seen a weird spin when you put it best, Joe. You're in the middle of a mini dynasty. Patrick Mahomes has been the best quarterback for 5 years now.
Yeah.
Like, the overall best quarterback. Now, Aaron Rodgers won 2 MVPs in there. That's not to take away those years. But overall, Patrick Mahomes has been the best quarterback.
Yeah.
Guys, it's a sport where the quarterback is the most important position. You ain't an underdog if you have the best quarterback.
It's just very weird. Listen, I'm not gonna lie. The post Super Bowl Chiefs, they're not super likable.
Oh, I hate them now. I hate it, guys. I'm just gonna say it. I at this point, like, I love watching Mahomes play. I love watching Kelsey play. But like, you guys are and your fans. I never had an issue with Chiefs fans. Can someone explain to Chiefs fans and also their players? You and I have tried to do this on social media with the comments. What the definition of favorite and underdog is. I thought we explained this last episode. I thought we explained it when I edited down videos for YouTube and Instagram and TikTok. They seem to not understand.
Yeah, but the bottom line is they're like, well, it doesn't matter. We don't care. We're talking about, and I'm like, why? I've never known anybody to pay so much mind to what like talking heads on ESPN that are trying to do clickbait headlines are saying. Like, the Chiefs are really, really good. And I think that as long as Patrick Mahomes is playing and Kelsey's there and
they're going to be great.
Spagnuolo and Reed, they're going to be great. But it does show a little it concerns me with their ability because, like, do you need, like, is this, are you guys already at the point, your 3 Super Bowl appearances are you already at the point where you need to create narratives just to motivate yourselves?
Yeah.
Like, is that where we're at? Is it going to be like next year we're doing it for Jackson? Everybody's been on Jackson, calling him, he's ruining Patrick's reputation, and he needs to TikTok all the time. This is for Jackson. What do you think now, you jabronis? Doing the Macarena.
So it started with Mahomes. This is what Mahomes said the other day, and he wasn't as bad as Kelsey, but he started off as far as the parade speeches, and this is what Patrick Mahomes said.
The AFC West said we were rebuilding. I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't know what rebuilding means.
Okay, so not the worst. I don't really see anybody who said they were rebuilding. Again, I know Chiefs players and their fans, I know they're going to hate to keep hearing this, but according to the Vegas odds, you were picked to win the most games in your division, and also behind the Bills and the Bucks, you were picked to win the 3rd most games. So I don't know if that's rebuilding.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Rebuilding behind who?
I don't know what that means. Again, you can bring up any talking head, but the talking heads don't decide the gambling wagers, which decide
also
the actual
Skip Bayless
favorites.
is on TV every day saying, like, God, Sharif Abdul-Rahim is better than LeBron James. Like, what? Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
I'd take Dak over Patrick Mahomes today. You're like, he just won the Super Bowl. I would take him. And you're like, okay. You're doing clickbait troll shit. Now, did you see the clip I sent you? I just sent you a clip, Andy. I texted it to you.
So you just sent it to me. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if it's easy to pull something up from your thing to the thing, but
I'll pull it up.
This to me is like there has been some postseason cringe so far.
Is this? I haven't seen this at all until now.
You got to watch it.
So this is the most postseason cringe
to me. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what we got.
Patrick Mahomes on Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah, no. So we started off. They actually do a nice party for us at the hotel. The Chainsmokers came through. DJ Khaled came through. I had the goddamn Spoon Man from the Soundgarden videos coming to my shit.
No way.
Oh yeah, I'm talking 6 grills burning at all times. Tiki torches, 3 whole pigs, fucking shitloads of macaroni and cheeses, baked potatoes, collard greens, a horse, fucking Puerto Rican chicks showing their pussies and tits off everywhere. I mean, you can't beat that, man. That's every genre of music you need right there. Yeah, no. So we started off. They actually do a nice party for us at the hotel. The Chainsmokers came through. DJ Khaled came through. I had the goddamn Spoon Man.
Oh, you got me. This is good. Fucking Kenny Powers.
But it's like, it's kind of like, you know, it's obviously a thing, but it's also like they're identical. It's like, man,
Dude, it
chain
is.
smokers, Puerto Rican chicks.
Oh my God. Well, Kelsey's was my favorite. Dude, Kelsey has lost his mind. Travis Kelsey's lost his mind. What he just said here, again, because these are just lies. And here's the thing. A lot of you dirtballs are coming at me too. Guys, I don't know what you're coming at me about. People are like, well, we can agree to disagree. There's no disagreement here. You were fucking favorites. You were a top 3 favorite to win the Super Bowl. What are we disagreeing about? And you guys look pathetic. I'm sorry, Chiefs fans.
That's the thing.
You look
it's
pathetic.
Like, I don't mind. I don't mind saying. I wouldn't mind at all if somebody got up there and was like, "We've been to 3 Super Bowls in the last 5 years. We've been to 5 AFC Championship games, and we're gonna go into a game against the Eagles, who played nobody, and you're gonna say that we're underdogs. We're underdogs. I don't mind that.
I agree.
But acting like you've been saying in the preseason that they're going to disband the team and we're being moved to a lower level. It just ain't going to happen.
What surprised
You guys
me?
been saying all year, Andy Reid's not going to live through the season. You've been saying all year, we don't have enough guys in the huddle. Like, you're like, what are you guys talking about?
What surprised me again, Joe, was our own listeners. And guys, what I don't understand from your end, Chiefs fans who are coming back and forth with us, Joe and I literally every single week of the football season say these are the favorites, these are the underdogs. Like, I don't know, Joe. I don't remember too many times.
Also, but I guess the weird thing too is like, are you now disrespected if we don't pick you to win the Super Bowl every year? It's just as simple as like a lot of people thought it was going to be the Bills' year, so that's it. So you can't even say, hey, you know, I think you know, Burrow was good last year and they made it to the Super Bowl, and the Chiefs are obviously going to be there, but this year I like the Bills. If you say that, you're now under, like, we're acting like we said you're not going to win a game the whole year.
And also, Joe, like, and I'll play the Kelsey clip. Everyone keeps saying all the Fox analysts. Guys, I'm concerned if I'm a Chiefs fan and Travis Kelsey is watching who Fox picks before the game. I'm concerned
25 minutes before the game,
Yeah.
he's looking at Terry Bradshaw, who's like, I think Mike McCarthy's better than Aaron Rodgers.
And for the record, you guys can say all you want, and we'll never know this. I could be wrong. I don't really think they use this as motivation. I think this is all bullshit. I think the Chiefs are that fucking good. You have the best quarterback in the game. You have the best tight end in the game, and you have the best play caller in the game. Did they really use this?
You know what the thing is the saying, the phrase, which you hear a lot in sports, is act like you've been there before.
Yeah.
Especially when you have been there before 3 times in the past 5 years.
Yeah, this was the worst right here. This is what Kelsey said at the victory parade.
Let me take you back to 2022 in the month of maybe April. Maybe. Guys were getting signed left and right. The haters were saying that the Chiefs would never make the playoffs.
Whoa. Who said? Again, who said?
At Broncos 420 on Twitter.
Said the Chiefs were not going to make the playoffs.
At Brandon Staley's headset on Twitter.
What?
At Yo Fool Vegas on Twitter.
Not going to make the playoffs.
The haters were saying the Chiefs were done.
What is he talking about, Prano? Not going to make the playoffs? It is fascinating to me, though. You have this section. You know what I learned from all this? You have a section of sports fans who are like you and I, who are always looking at the lines. And we're like, okay, who's the favorite here? Who's not just for the game, to make the AFC Championship, to make the Super Bowl, to win the division? this is what Vegas is saying. And Vegas is usually pretty accurate when it comes to things. Like, they're in the ballpark. And then you have a section of fans who's like, oh, Stephen A. Smith, all amped up on amphetamines, is going on ESPN and just saying wild shit.
But now we've seen this at this point, and the Dylan Brooks with Shannon Sharp thing. It's like clearly he has been watching him say that. It's like, it's amazing. We talked about this, and you were 100% right about it. But it was like the fact that Baker Mayfield cared so much about Colin Cowherd makes you worry about him long term. And the bottom line is, I'm not Travis Kelce, listen to me right now. I'm not picking against you guys next year. I'm not. Relax, okay? Before you start going in, and the haters are already picking against us for next year. Woo! Before you start on that, I'm just saying, if you needed this for motivation, if this was on your bulletin board in the locker room, you can't do this lie again. You can't do it next year, right? Like,
well, they're already favorites.
Yeah.
So
but Andy, they were favorites last year.
Yeah, I was. Look, I was wrong. Are they watching this show? I said the Chargers would win the division. I said the Chargers and Bills will play in the AFC Championship. I was wrong on all those things. I said I think the Chiefs take a step back. I was wrong. So maybe they're talking to me. I don't know. Then again, Vegas wasn't saying any of that.
Yeah.
Vegas was saying they're going to win the division. Every single sports book was saying
I picked them to win the division.
Yeah, you did. You were right.
Yeah. I picked Patrick Mahomes to be MVP.
Yeah, it's just, look, it's just, at the end of the day, it's a weird spin where if I'm Travis Kelce, I would spin it like this. We've done this. We did it again, and we're going to keep doing it again. And anybody who thinks we're not is fucking crazy.
I mean, you hate to do it because, obviously he rode, much like Kelce is, on Mahomes' back, but you could take a page out of the Kobe book here. 2, 3, 4, 5. Like, count your fucking wins, bro. You guys just keep winning. It just seems really like this is the kind of thing. This feels very Jameis Winston-y, where it's like your teammates are gonna get tired of this. There's only so long that you can play the same card over and over and over and over again. Did they
I don't
go into a season as the third highest win total in football, and from day one, did they spend 18, 20 weeks or whatever being like, people are fucking discounting us? You're like, okay. Andy Reese was like, is this that? Okay, I'll let them. All right. I'm gonna get some ribs.
I don't know, man. I mean, look, I don't think Mahomes isn't the worst with it. It's definitely Kelce is obviously the ringleader of this, but I know they're not gonna like to hear this and they're gonna say Ruther's being a homer, but like if you're rooting for a team like the Bengals, you're like when Joe Burrow says, "I don't ever feel like an underdog," or "My window is as long as I'm playing." It's like, isn't that what you want? Patrick Mahomes, again, has been by far the best quarterback for 5 years. Have some swag, man. Have a little bravado to you. Be cocky.
The chain smokers were there.
Everyone hates the Chiefs now. Like everyone.
Miss Piggy was there. Animal was there. All of the Muppet Babies were there.
What was the narrative Michael Jordan created?
Well, that's the thing. That's some guy on the Bullets. Fucking yeah. I mean, there's a million of them.
Yeah, that was in the Last Dance, where apparently he said some guy on the Bullets said something to him when he didn't.
Yeah,
and then he went out and played great. Like, look, whatever works, and obviously if this worked, cool. But like you said, there's going to be a shelf life on it. I think there is. Just go out there and play, man. Like, because if I'm them, I'm playing to be the best ever, right? If I'm Patrick Mahomes, I'm saying, fuck Brady 7 rings. I already got 2 in 5 years.
Yeah.
I'm coming for you, Brady. I'm not an underdog. I'm the fucking greatest of all time. Travis Kelce, I'm going for every single record as the greatest tight end of all time. I'm not the
Well, if there's, to transition, if there's something I've seen in the last couple of weeks, it's fans don't like it when players say they're the greatest of all time, even when they do it at gunpoint. Shaq was like, "You better say it. You say it right now. Oh, I'm going to come there. I'm going to use my fist, punch through your heart. I'm Superman. LeBron say you're the GOAT." He's like, "I think I'm up there." And everybody's like, "What a fucking dickhead." If you don't say it, I'm going to kill your kids. He's like, "Fine, I'm the best." What a fucking egotistical asshole.
Did you know?
Like he had LeBron James at gunpoint said, like, "I'd choose myself." He didn't hire 40 teenage black girls and put them into a fucking music studio and have them sing in harmony. I love to be LeBron. I must be LeBron. No, he just at gunpoint said he would take himself. He didn't have an orchestra singing. The whole world should be. They should be me. 'Cause I'm crazy. Everyone should be like me. Imagine the audacity of somebody doing that. Imagine how egotistical you'd be to do that.
Did you see Chris Paul just surpassed Michael Jordan in the all-time steals list?
I did see that.
But what caught my eye, and I know everyone's going to get mad at me and bring this up, but I have to. I guess I didn't pay attention enough to the steals list. LeBron's also top 10 in steals.
Yeah.
So he's top 10 all time in assists, steals, and number 1 in scoring.
Yeah.
And it really is pretty insane when you compile all these stats.
And you win. And you win a bunch of MVPs. And you dominate the league for years.
No one's gonna change their mind though, man.
No.
This is one of the
capitalism's a crazy thing.
It's one of the craziest things that
Michael Jordan stands are like how Matty Goldberg goes into a restaurant and goes, "I'd like a Coke," and they go, "Is Pepsi okay?" And he burns the restaurant down.
Yeah.
No, it's not okay. There's one number 1. I was just talking about this yesterday. Pepsi's whole thing in like the 90s, they were trying to tell everybody in a blind taste test, we win every time.
Yeah, that was their thing.
That was their thing. In a blind taste test, we win. And people were like, "But you're not better." It's like you literally just had a blindfold on and said we were better. But you're not. Michael Jordan. That's Michael Jordan.
Are there Pepsi stands out there for the record?
Marketing is a crazy thing.
Who's a Pepsi stand though? Have you ever met anybody who said, "I want Pepsi"?
No, marketing's a crazy thing, dude.
It's crazy. How does Pepsi even compete?
Well, they have a lot of different things under their brand.
Well, sure. It's a big company.
And then they also you go to a school, like in college. We were at Pepsi College. You go to the soda fountain at Lehigh University. It was Pepsi. And it was Pepsi related fast food things like Burger King.
I saw something there that reminded me of Dirty Sports. Speaking of food and beverage, did you see? Durple actually alerted me to this on Twitter. Subway is seeking to be bought out. They're saying the company could be valued at $10 billion as 37,000 sandwich shops worldwide.
And just $10 billion? It seems low.
I don't know. I don't know the math on this stuff. If you bought Subway, it would be the first thing you'd do.
If I had enough money, if I had Elon money, I'd do what Elon did with Twitter. I'd buy Subway and ruin it.
Oh, are you kidding me? Twitter's the best it's ever been, man.
That's insane.
Dude, it's the best it's ever been. I love
You're
Elon
not even
Twitter.
on Twitter anymore.
I love Elon Twitter. I'm here for it. You're just mad because you look at people you don't like, and then it shows up on your feed. You're just putting it into that algorithm. That's probably what you're mad at.
Well, amongst other things, yeah. But I hate why is there even a For You thing?
That's always been there.
No,
Is it not?
no. You could hide the thing. Now it's just For You and following. Of course, these are the people I'm following. What are we talking about here?
I love Elon Twitter. I'm here for it. You're not here for it.
No. I just want to see the people that I follow and then things they retweet. I don't want to see the things people like. I don't want to see. I certainly don't want. If I'm not following you, why would I want to see that one of the people I followed replied to you? God, I don't want to see that.
But how much of that's actually changed? I feel like all this stuff was there, most of it.
No, you were never on Twitter, and you wouldn't just see my replies to somebody you're not already following. The beauty of social media is that you create your own feed.
I don't look at it, but see, my thing is I mostly post and then like look at replies to that tweet. How much of your time have you spent responding to people on TikTok? Prano is just like a guy in a sweatshop, but instead of making clothes, he's just got that computer and he's just like, you little shit.
I love it though, because I told you I figured out the TikTok algorithm. All comments matter on TikTok. So it's like when people comment, I go, really? And I reply to them. And the other thing is, when it comes to the Michael Jordan, LeBron James argument, I'm John Wick. I have an endless amount of ammo. And like, if you're there, I'll find you. If you're out there, like Michael Jordan killed my dog. And now I'm going to kill everybody.
You really should go to door. We could start at neighborhoods. You go to the left on Jordan. I go to the right on Kobe. And then we kind of meet at the cul-de-sac.
I can't believe. I think we got derailed from COVID, but it might be time to break out the plastic table and the sign. LeBron.
Oh
James
my God!
Goat.
If you get somebody to film you down at Venice Beach in Kobe Bryant territory, you know the problem is people don't want to listen. I already told you this. I've had this discussion recently. People just you'll give them something. And then they'll come back with rings, and then you'll say, "Okay, then Bill Russell's the greatest."
Yeah.
And then they'll try to say something else, and you're like, "Well, either we accept."
Yeah, of course, the goalposts always move.
We either accept this or we don't. We got to call about KD. Speaking of greats,
Love it.
so I want to play this because this is a call as far as what we think about him on a team or adding KD to a team.
Serious question: if you're an NBA team, can you start a championship building process with adding Kevin Durant? Every single team that we've seen where he is the centerpiece rather than him being added to the team late in the process of building a championship team has completely failed. And I'm sort of wondering, based off of all the news about how he is in terms of confidence, in terms of just how weird he is off the court, I'm starting to wonder if he can be the centerpiece of a championship team. Obviously, it's not talent, but with all the other shit that kind of circles around him, I mean, if I'm a general manager, I don't know if I'm somebody who's under 500, if I'm someone that's missing the playoffs. If I'm looking to rebuild a team, is Kevin Durant the first person that I'm going to sign? I don't know if I can do that based off of all the shit that's happened throughout his career. So let me know.
This seems like a misguided call.
Okay.
I'm just going to say. I appreciate the sentiment a little bit, but Kevin Durant was drafted second overall behind
Greg Oden.
His team
There's a miss, by the way.
Yeah. His team went to the NBA Finals. He took that team to the NBA Finals. he got LeBron. The next team that he joined, they won 2 championships, and they played in 3 finals. The next team that he joined is his miss. And it is where a lot of guys have gone wrong. And it is probably the greatest example of the modern NBA gone awry, which was everybody thinks that the only way to do it is to build a super team. So he tried to do a paint by numbers super team, and he tagged in the wrong guy. He obviously has his own personality issues and has heard a lot of people talk about him and has not handled that very well. And then he saw people doing it about Kyrie and he was like, we'll show them. And it's like, dude, sometimes people are right. You know, Joe Prano, for example, Kevin Durant, don't be Travis Kelce. Don't listen to Stephen A. Smith. Listen to Joe Prano. I told you the whole fucking time that Kyrie Irving is a goddamn disaster, and I don't want him on my team. And I said, I don't want Kevin Durant on the Knicks if he's coming with Kyrie. He hitched his wagon to the wrong horse. Now he's going to his 4th team, a team that is coming off of an NBA Finals appearance just a few years ago. They're certainly not a rebuilding team, nor do I think if you were a rebuilding team right now, would you necessarily want to start around Kevin Durant for a variety of reasons, but they're not doing that. And really, no team has done that. The only thing that's been close to that is what the Nets did, which was try to acquire a super team simultaneously, and the Nets and Kevin Durant backed the wrong guy. But as far as a team that, needs help, again, let's go back to the same thing we talked about with Kelsey and Mahomes and whatever. It's like they went from being nothing to the odds-on favorite in the West. And my dog has a slipper. Hold on.
Yeah, go for it. What's crazy to me at this juncture of the NBA, I think teams might be going the wrong direction when they always want to do the super team. I think that things go in pendulums, right? I think the pendulum of trying to build a super team, I think that's going to start going back the other way of maybe through the draft and just adding pieces, whether it's the 6 man off the bench or the sharpshooter, because the super team, if you look at it, last year's finals, those are mostly draft picks on both teams, right? Like the core of the Celtics, the core of the Warriors. I mean, am I wrong in this?
No.
The core of the Milwaukee Bucks right now.
Right.
The core of the Denver
But again,
Nuggets.
you got to remember, first of all, this has been happening for a very long time. It's been happening for a very long time. I know everybody with the LeBron James started the super teams. You can go back forever and ever and ever and ever and ever, including the way that Magic and Bird ended up on the teams they ended up on. The way Michael Jordan added Rodman when it failed. The way, we've seen this on and on and on. We had a Karl Malone, Gary Payton Lakers team at one point with, I don't even remember who else was on that fucking team, but they went they've tried.
I think Mitch
before.
Richmond was on that team too.
Yeah, they've tried this before, and then obviously in the modern era, we had LeBron James, who was the single greatest player in the league, and it has happened multiple times now where teams have said, we must do this to stop him. Starting with, in the modern era, Boston. Boston went out and put together 3 Hall of Famers on a team. And they mortgaged their future to do it, and it worked. And then LeBron was like, well, if this is the new NBA now, well, and by the way, I don't even put it on LeBron. Pat Riley, smart, was like, I see what you did in Boston. Pat Riley, ultimate fuck Boston guy, right? oh, this is what we're going to do now? We're going to put 3 stars on a team? How about these 3 stars? And then, that got to the point where LeBron James got his rings and then was like, now I'm going to go back and do it in Cleveland. And then the Warriors were like, how about these 3 stars? Like, this is just the way it is. But it doesn't work if you don't have the right guys to do it.
And I think that's the hard part, right? Putting that puzzle together, figuring out those pieces of not just talent, personalities, the cohesion of the locker room, all those things. It's not easy to do. You can't just throw 3 great players together. Right, at any level. Like sometimes you don't want to deal with the headaches that person brings. If you're in the East this year, if you're a fan, if you're not the Celtics, not the Bucks, which of those teams do you not want to play the most between the Celtics and the Bucks in the playoffs?
So if I'm not the Celtics or the Bucks,
so you're the other teams in the East.
Which of those teams would I rather avoid?
Correct.
I'd rather avoid the Bucks.
Why?
I think that the Bucks have a player, and by the way, Jason Tatum is amazing. I like Jason Tatum a lot. Great player. The Bucks have one of those guys that can lose his mind to the point where, unless your team is really fucking good, he can not beat you alone, but be the locomotive that drives the train that beats you alone. The Boston Celtics are a more complete team and can beat you in a lot of different ways, but the NBA playoffs are a star-driven tournament. And the bottom line is I would always rather face a team where it gives me the potential of having the best player on the court. You know what I mean? Or where it's a closer call. Is Embiid better than Jason Tatum? This year, probably. Is Embiid better than Giannis? Like better, like legit better? No.
Yeah.
So if you're the Sixers, I'd rather play the team. I think I have the better players.
Do you think it's either of those teams? Like if right now, what's your prediction? Are you saying I think either the Celtics or the Bucks are definitely coming out of the East for the finals?
Well, I'll tell you this. It's the Celtics, Bucks, or Sixers. I think the Sixers have an outside shot. But it ain't the Cavs, it ain't the Nets, the Knicks, the whoever the fuck else is in there. It ain't. There's a hard drop-off. The West is way more wide open, obviously, prior to the Kevin Durant thing. Now, obviously, the Suns that's a tough lineup, man.
Yeah.
But still also wide open because it's going to take them some time to figure it out. They haven't even fucking played together.
Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, that's the thing too. It's the same. We talk about putting super teams together for a whole season. We're talking about.
If you told me, like in the East, if you were like, you can obviously, it's not a crazy thing to say at all. It's like if you had to pick the 1, 2, 3 seed or everybody else, I would take the 1, 2, 3 seed, even if you told me you were giving me like 1 to 5 odds.
Wait, you take the 1 to 3 seed in the East or West?
In the East.
Gotcha.
If you were like, you got to bet 100 to make $20, I'd be like, I'll still take the 1 to 3.
We actually have another NBA, or I don't know if we have a troll call. It cuts out, which I don't like.
Trolling us?
You'll see. 310-359-8365 is the hotline. For like some trails of call, the calls of some trails have called off. This is where my sleep's at. The calls have trailed off a little. Just wanted to give you guys a heads up on that. I don't know if that's because of the new feature, but Still give us a ring, 310-359-8365. Again, this one cuts out, but I figured you would really appreciate this one. I hate that it cuts out. You'll get the gist.
Hey, boys. It's Tyler in Arizona, Randy Ruther's cousin. I just wanted to come on and say that Jesse Owens is the greatest sprinter of all time. I don't – your stats, Usain Bolt could not have survived in the more physical 1936 Berlin Olympics. Jesse Owens, go. And, you know, they're stupid. They didn't watch. Way more physical in the 30s than it was today. Couldn't survive. Thanks, boys.
So basically, Jesse Owens, GOAT, sprinter, 1936 Olympics, famously won the gold. Hitler didn't want to give him the medal. Much better than Usain Bolt.
Listen, I just had this conversation with, you know, I'm on a little mini tour with Pete Sestaro. We were in San Diego the last 2 nights. We're in L.A.
He's a Jordan guy.
He's a Jordan guy. And he was a bit playing devil's advocate for me because he's like, listen, I'm here for all the thing. But he was, you know, he's playing devil's advocate. And one of the things I said to him yesterday, I said, if you just picked a random sports event, if you went to the, you know, if you went to the Clippers game tonight, and you picked a random dude in a Clippers jersey, and you just said, who's your hockey goat? Who's your NBA goat? Who's your football goat? Who's your track and field goat? Who's your whatever? It seems to me it's like pretty obvious that everybody would be like, well, he'd be like, well, Tom Brady, Usain Bolt, Michael Jordan, and you'd be like, what? Like, why is the only thing that you go back on? Like, obviously, Gretzky's numbers are ridiculous compared to anybody else. No one's come close to touching them. But I've even seen, which is insane, I've even seen the Ovechkin thing on Twitter, which is insane if you just look at the numbers-wise. But everybody, like, with common sense knows now is better. And then the only guy we don't do it for is Jordan. And I said yesterday, when in talking about it, I'm like, boxing's not a thing anymore. But when boxing was the biggest thing in the world, that's where it stopped. It stopped with Muhammad Ali. It's like, oh, when it was the top, like, and I'm not saying Michael Jordan has the most. He's the most important man in the history of basketball. I can in some way say that in terms of the popularity and his effect on the game and the Nike thing and the 90s and TV and taking it to the world and all that stuff. Great, fine. It's just not the best basketball player. And it's fine.
Yeah, that's been my thing all along. It's always fascinated me that basketball was always the only sport.
And I said yesterday, and I appreciate Tyler's call, but like the thing that offends me is if I was in whatever thing that I did, you know what I mean? If I was a lawyer and I won the most cases ever, and I went up and I was defending murderers in this time of DNA, and I was doing all that, and they were just like, yeah, but man, Johnny Cochran, he did it with flair. I'd be like, get fucked.
Well, speaking of the goats, you just showed the GOAT light beer on the screen. Hold that up again for me. There's your GOAT beer, Miller Lite. The original light beer, Joe, since 1975. It's the original and also the GOAT.
It's literally the one thing that I think it's okay to say. Back when they perfected it right out of the gate.
They really did.
There was no improving on it.
There's a reason.
It didn't get bigger, faster, stronger, smoother, greater taste, and lesser filling. There's not a guy out here greater tasting and lesser filling. And listen, Andy, I'm a devout Miller Lite guy, and I always will be. I'm leaving the door open. If somebody comes in with a greater tasting, less filling beer, I'm open. But I ain't seen it yet.
No.
I ain't seen it yet.
And there's a reason they went back to the original cans.
That's right. Throwback unis.
Good for the Miller Lite team. Good for the Miller Lite marketing team. They said, look, this was what worked. You know, we were like the Padres. We went to this blue for a while. We were changing some things up, but we realized we're at our best with that iconic light on the label. It just looks fresh, doesn't it?
So good.
Miller Lite, great taste, 96 calories. Guys, go to MillerLite.com/dirty sports to find delivery options near you. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin, 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces. What do you think Aaron Rodgers is doing right now?
I think he's in the dark. I think he's.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
What's going on in Aaron Rodgers' head right now?
Oh, I mean, I think this 4 days in darkness thing, I think the shit that goes on in your head is pretty fucking wild. I bet you it's probably like tripping. I don't think I could do that.
Now, I was a float tank guy.
Yeah.
Which is like an hour to 2 hours sensory deprivation. A little different because you're in a flotation device and your mind goes places for sure. This is next level.
Listen, I kind of love and I hate it for my bet with Kyle Aronofsky, #1 New Jersey dirtball. But I kind of love Aaron Rodgers to the Jets. I think it's a good fit. But I got to say, if you go into some crazy meditation thing and you come out thinking the Jets are the right answer, don't do that meditation shit anymore. Like, I think it's a good fit, but I think if I was alone in a room for 4 days and I could think about the Jets' history of just ruining lives on and off the field, I'd be like, yeah, you know what? Green Bay's not so bad. Or, I mean, Vegas, we'll figure it out. Maybe what happens is Aaron Rodgers puts away the hate in his heart for the Niners.
Well,
I don't think 4 days in darkness helps the Jets cause. It just can't. It can't.
No. I'm fascinated. I'm going to play the clip. I've had this sitting for a bit. This is exactly what he said on Pat McAfee's show. Exactly what he's doing in his darkness, solitude.
What's isolation retreat? We're just going into a cave?
Are you not going to talk? You're not going to speak? One of those things?
Yeah, is it just you in there? And if you're just in there alone, do you know how many days you're in there? Are you taking an iPad, a book? Are we able to reach you?
What?
Is there good
It's 4 nights of complete darkness.
What? You going to Alaska?
Not Alaska, no. I've been to Alaska. That's a beautiful state. Man. That's a lot
Are
of
you
fun.
locked in?
Where is it?
You're not locked in. No, you can leave if you can't do it. You can just walk out the door. But it's a darkness retreat.
Wow.
And I've had a number of friends who've done it and had some profound experiences. And it's something that's been on my radar for a few years now. And I felt like it'd be awesome to do regardless of where I was leaning after this season. So it's been on the calendar for months and months and months. And it's coming up in a couple weeks.
So you walk into a room for 4 days, or is it a cave? Where is?
It's a room. It's a little house. Yeah.
And they just kind of black out the window. Brrr, everything's dropped down, and then there's somebody like in there administering like sounds and what we're going through, options. Of
There's a two-way
Mirror?
No, like a little slot that they'll drop in some food for you, but it's isolation and darkness. No, no music, no nothing.
Are they recording you and your actions?
How many people are in there?
Just myself. Isolation.
Oh. Holy shit!
Yeah, it'd be weird if you had some random stranger in a corner you couldn't see.
So this is,
Oh.
what's fascinating to me about all this?
I mean, of course you'd have to do it alone. Can you imagine if they're like, oh, we're gonna do Aaron Rodgers. This week we have Aaron Rodgers in the darkness room, and some Bears fans like, yeah, I'm gonna get in that fucking darkness room. I'm going in that darkness room.
I'm not going to lie, man. I am fascinated by this. Like, I was looking up where.
This nice thing. Next year, Dirty Sports Pick'em. You lose darkness room for 4 days.
I don't know if I could do 4 days,
And
but
all we can slip through the slot is Danger Witches.
Ooh. I don't think I could do 4 days, but I am absolutely fascinated to try something like this in my life. for like a day or two. Nothing. No. Oh, there it is.
I'm trying it right now, Andy. I've shut the lights off.
So now my mind's already wondering.
Yeah. I can tell you one thing. I don't want to play for the Jets.
Yeah.
That's one thing I've got here. Is there a Miller Lite around? I found it.
Okay. There you go. You could bet.
You know why I couldn't do 4 days in the dark, Andy? Because I love light.
Wow. A plug on top of a plug on top of a plug. Plug game is strong tonight. So you could
Let there
bet.
be light. That's what I would say.
It's not up anymore. I just clicked on the link. You used to be able to bet, and I don't know how they would ever figure this out.
On Aaron Rodgers tapping out?
On what drugs he was going to be doing.
Yeah.
On Bet Online, you could have done a futures and props NFL regular season special, which was you could bet what drug, and I don't know if that was how that ever be decided. If he told Pat McAfee publicly the next time he was on, hey man, I was in that room, did some mushrooms, did a little acid, smoked some weed.
I don't think you need that. I think that
I agree.
I think 4 days in without light, your brain's gonna go some wild places.
Yeah, again, it's someone who's done it in a tank for an hour to two. Your mind goes places. So I almost drowned as a kid. Did I ever tell you this?
No. I'm not really surprised though.
So I was drowning in my neighbor's pool when I was like 3, and I couldn't before I could swim yet.
Fall in?
No, so growing up,
brother throw you in.
That would be a logical answer. It wasn't that either. It's a true story. I almost drowned twice as a kid.
What is happening? I almost choked a few times because I didn't chew my food enough. I just eat too quickly. Still eat too quickly.
Yeah.
But drowning.
Well, I couldn't swim yet, and I was at the neighbors where I grew up, and they had a pool, and I was playing. They had a granddaughter. They were older couple. Shout out to Angel, who I had the hots for back at age 2 and 3. Angel was her name. We got some videos I'll show sometime maybe of the Andy Ruther spit game. It's pretty strong at 3, talking to her between the fence, grabbing the fence.
I'm gonna go drown.
That'll get her attention. Anyway, her dad was kind of a drunk.
Went full on Squints Polidorus on her.
Yeah, or not her dad. Her grandfather was kind of a drunk. There's a whole story with their yard. Shout out to the Bambecks. Not sure if I could say their name, but just did.
You just did.
Anyway, I slipped off this before I could swim, and there's just the steps. I slipped off. And he was sleeping pretty much. And I guess she jumped. She knew and jumped. Grandpa shook him and he dove in and saved me. And I just remember that feeling. But what I'm getting to, on one of my sensory deprivation sessions, I went back to that moment, dude.
Wow.
No lie. Went back to that moment. And here's the thing. I worked through it and I've been good since.
On what?
I went to that moment and I kind of worked through whatever sort of trauma I had from that, because that's obviously a lasting trauma. But my brothers, side story, they used to chuck the rotten tomatoes from Walt's garden into Mr. Bambeck's pool.
Oh, man.
And then I would chuck, when I was 5, my buddy up the street, my little neighborhood buddy, we'd chuck a bunch of rocks in there. So he came storming out. He came storming to my parents' house. He caught my brothers Elliot and Brad chucking rotten tomatoes in his pool. And he came storming over and opened the door and just was in my mom's face. This is all secondhand, she told me. He's like, "You fucking kid, get those roots off." And she's like, "Don't you come in my house and swear like that." And apparently he was like, "And they've been throwing rocks too." Little did they know. That was me. So we used to terrorize this guy's pool.
Oh, because you almost drowned in there.
Yeah, it's, this is after the drowning.
Yeah.
So anyway, I don't know where we got there, but my point is,
Aaron Rodgers is going through some shit.
He's going through some shit. Also, I assume he probably already knows who he's going to play for.
Well, I don't know if he is. I think maybe he's taking this I take him at face value. The guy's a weirdo, and he's trying this thing. Maybe he's like, maybe I have an idea, but the answer will either become clear or become less clear as
I'd like to see him on the Raiders or the Niners.
Niners would be a tough out with Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how the Niners players feel, but
maybe like you, he's in that sensory deprivation, and he's putting away the trauma of the time they let him drown in the NFL draft.
Yeah.
They told him they were going to pick him. And then their GM went to drunkenly fell asleep while he just kept sinking and sinking and sinking. And so maybe now he wants to come back, throw some rocks for the Niners.
So even without Aaron Rodgers, the Niners are right there to win the Super Bowl. Odds-on favorites. Now, I don't know if the Niners players, unlike the Chiefs players, look at odds. Like, they're a top 3 favorite to win the Super Bowl next year. So I'm saying if you add Aaron Rodgers, you're already a top 3 favorite. I would assume that would push them very close to the Chiefs. They probably wouldn't overtake the favorite Kansas City Chiefs. Again, they're the favorite. I don't know what Skip Bayless has to say about that, or Stephen A. Smith.
Do you think this will be the last time that you mention the underdog Chiefs story, or do you think it'll leak into a third episode? What's the over-under on episodes worth of pissed off Andy Ruther is that Travis Kelce has created some fictional story about them being underdogs?
I just think it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, I know.
That's dude. Again, the Cincinnati.
You text me about it every day. I'm like, how's your daughter? You're like, Travis Kelce is bothering me. I'm like, but she's in intensive care. You're like, he keeps calling himself the underdog.
Well, the truth is, I've been very busy. The last couple of days, I didn't pay attention. And then last night, I was actually sitting next to my daughter in the NICU. I opened my computer, just wanted to be by her. And then I saw the I was like, what? Was I talking to my daughter about it? Maybe.
I was like, how's your daughter's temperature? You're like, lower. Like the Chiefs' odds of winning the Super Bowl next year just keep falling lower. And he's still doing the underdog thing. Get that kid off the escalator. I'm like, what is happening right now? That one's for Kyle Aronofsky and all other people from New Jersey.
Yeah, what are you talking about right now?
That kid is back on the escalator. Come on, you gotta know that one. No reference?
Movie reference?
Yeah.
Oh, I see on YouTube. Mallrats.
There you go.
I'm not going to get a lot of those type of movie references. The Kevin James. Not Kevin James.
It's not from Paul Blart Mall Cop. It's from Mallrats. Did you just think Mallrats was Paul Blart Mall Cop?
No. Kevin Smith. Kevin James. Brano, look, here's the deal. It's been a long week.
Yeah.
You got places to go. I'm not going to force.
Tonight.
Yeah.
Got a show tomorrow night at the West Side Comedy Theater. And then I've also got a show March 10th in Bozeman, Montana. March 10th, Last Best Comedy. You guys know where to see it. See it on my Instagram at Joe Prano. See it on my TikTok at Joe Prano. See it on my Twitter at Fix Your Life. Go to the Dirty Sports TikTok today.
It's nuts.
And subscribe. Because not only, and I'm going to convince Andy that this is what he needs to do in some of his downtime, because I've been going to the comments. I'm going to teach Andy how to video reply to people. I'm going to teach, listen, if you open our TikTok for the first time today, you're going to be like, oh, Prano is on one right now. And I am. I am absolutely on one. I put up the Dirty Sports math. The quickies up there.
You beat me to it. It's funny. I rewatched that this week, and I was like, I wonder if this would be good on TikTok. I didn't know you could have so much
I
length
didn't
on
either. I
it.
thought I was going to have to break it up. we'll see how it goes. Might still get broken up for a future post, but for now, it's all up. It's up there, all 9 minutes and 42 seconds of its glory. But yeah, come to my show in Bozeman, Montana, or just go on my social media and come see a different show somewhere else.
I think you know what I think is getting me into TikTok is going to get me into TikTok.
What's that?
You're right. All the downtime I've had, just kind of, at the hospital when you're sitting around, was just reading the comments and your replies. Like, dude, it's wild to me.
When you would read a comment, would you be like, "Oh, I," and then you're like, "Wait, Prano's already in here?"
I couldn't get over it. I couldn't get enough of it one night. I was just scrolling through saying, wait, people are saying what back to him? And it's always somebody like user 00678910 is so adamant about how they feel about something.
My favorite thing is when people are like, he loses in the finals. I was like, wanting to lose before the finals is the ultimate loser mentality. When I tell people that they have a loser mentality, they spin out of control.
Yeah. No, it's nuts. Just go ahead and follow us on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, the whole 9 yards. And yeah, appreciate all the love. I see a lot of love, guys. Appreciate the comments about my daughter. Appreciate that on YouTube. So
now, is it true that her middle name is Kelsey, spelled like Travis and Jason?
It's not.
What do we have for a middle name?
She's my mom's middle name, Elaine.
Oh.
So I think it goes well. Isla Elaine Ruther.
Not a Seinfeld reference.
Not a Seinfeld reference. My mother's reference. So yeah.
Shout out Joanne.
Yeah, shout out to my mom. I was thinking about Isla Walter. It just didn't go well. This didn't go well. The name thing real quick, and then we'll go. The name, that's a whole thing deciding.
Oh yeah.
The name thing. My advice to anyone, which my little brother gave me and I ignored, but I will never do for any of my future kids, if I can have some, never tell anybody your name ideas, because everybody has a strong opinion about it. Everybody. At the end of the day, it's your kid. Name your kid whatever you want. Because there were opinions even within my own family after her name was decided. It's like, it's my daughter. I can name her whatever the hell I want.
Well, we're excited. We're excited to eventually meet her. Cannot wait until she's running in the room, being like, "Dad, the Chiefs underdog thing happened 6 years ago. Let it go." Also, we should watch Frozen again. Let it go. Let it go.
I'm going to be the biggest pushover. I already knew this. I'm going to be the biggest pushover girl dad ever. Like, that girl's going to run me. I'm just learning to accept it. All right, guys, that's our show. We'll be back on Monday. Have a great weekend. Again, thank you so much for all the love. Thank you so much for the support. We'll see you guys in a few days. And as always,
congratulations, Papa Ruther.
Thanks, man. As always, stay dirty.